everyone. I welcome you all to this digital classroom for the subject control system. In the previous lecture, we derived the expression for time domain specification. Today, we are going to solve few of the example problems related to the time domain specification which has been taken from the previous year's VTU question paper. The time domain specification which you are derived for as shown here, where the rise time is given by Tr is equal to pi minus theta by omega d, and the settling time for 2% error is given by Ts is equal to 4t, which is 4 by zeta omega n, and the settling time for 5% error is given by 3t, that is 3 by zeta omega n, and the peak time Tp is given by pi by omega d, and the maximum overshoot is given by Mp is equal to e to the power of minus pi zeta divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square into 100, as Mp is in percentage. And the response of the system C of t is given by 1 minus e to the power minus zeta omega nt divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square into sine of omega dt plus theta, where omega d is equal to omega n into square root of 1 minus zeta square, and theta is equal to tan inverse of square root of 1 minus zeta square divided by zeta. So if you look into all the specification, it is represented in terms of two parameters, zeta and omega n, where zeta is the damping ratio and omega n is the natural frequency. So to solve a given problem, if you know zeta and omega n, then I can calculate the time domain specification by directly substituting in this formula. If zeta and omega is given in the question, the procedure is straightforward, which can be achieved by direct substitution. But in majority of the university question paper, instead of giving zeta and omega n directly, you will be given with the questions in different forms. So let's discuss about it today. So in the given question, you can be given with a differential equation like this, or a mechanical system, or an electrical system in this form. Now how to move further for calculating the time domain specification. Let me clearly explain you this procedure, or you can take it as a tips to be followed to solve problems related to time domain specification. So for a given differential equation here, first we have to apply the Laplace transform and calculate the transfer function with x of t as input and y of t as output. So the Laplace transform will be x of s and y of s. And if you take the transfer function, which is nothing but Laplace transform of the output divided by Laplace transform of the input, which is similarly for the mechanical system given here, the applied force F of t is the input, and we have one displacement here x of t. So from this we have to transform this mechanical system into a node diagram with respect to number of displacement is equal to number of nodes, in which we have here only one displacement, and we have to connect all the elements related to this displacement. And then we have to write the differential equation for this mathematical model of a mechanical system. Then we have to calculate the transfer function, which is given by Laplace transform of the output divided by Laplace transform of the input at zero initial condition. Here we have the input as applied force f of t, so the Laplace transform is f of s, and the output is the displacement x of t, and the Laplace transform of x of t is nothing but x of s. And we have an electrical network here in this example, in which the input is Vi of t and the output is V naught of t. The first step here is to transform this electrical network into an S-domain network and then write the loop equation applying KVL. Once after calculating the loop equations, we used to calculate the transfer function, which is given by V naught of s divided by Vi of s. So for all these three examples, it is completely focused on one point, that is nothing but calculating the transfer function, Laplace transform of the output divided by the Laplace transform of the input. So generally we used to represent the transfer function for a closed loop system as C of s by R of s is equal to G of s divided by 1 plus G of s into H of s. So once after obtaining the transfer function, we know that the denominator term, which is equated to 0, gives you the characteristic equation. So I'm equating the denominator term 1 plus G of s into H of s is equal to 0. That is nothing but the characteristic equation of the given transfer function. So now we can relate this characteristic equation with the standard characteristic equation of a second order system, which is given by s square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus omega n square, which is equal to 0, as we are solving the problems related to time domain specification, which has been derived for a second order system, remember. So now if suppose you have obtained a transfer function like 10 by s square plus 7s plus 20, it is just an example to convince you. So now if you compare the denominator term here, s square plus 7s plus 20 is equal to 0, then we can compare the coefficient of s as 2 zeta omega n, which will be equal to 7, and omega n square will be equal to 20. So omega n is equal to square root of 20. You can obtain the value of omega n, and if you substitute into zeta omega n for the value of omega, we can obtain the value of zeta. Once after applying the value of zeta and omega n, now the procedure is very simple for you to calculate the time domain specification. So let us solve few example problems related to this concept so that you will get so much of confidence during your examination. So I have taken an example problem which has appeared during January 2005 VTU. The open loop transfer function of a servo system with unity feedback is given by g of s is equal to 10 by s plus 2 into s plus 5. Determine the damping ratio zeta, undamped natural frequency of oscillation. What is the percentage overshoot of the response to a unit step input? So you are given with g of s. Solve this problem. First we can write the given data g of s, and here it is very clear that is a unity feedback system, hence s of h of s is equal to 1. So now let me calculate the closed loop transfer function c of s by r of s is equal to g of s divided by 1 plus g of s into h of s. So in this case g of s is given to you directly, so let us substitute for g of s here. And after substitution and simplification, we can obtain the closed loop transfer function as 10 by s square plus 7s plus 20. So now we have to equate the denominator to the standard characteristic equation of a second order system given by s square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus omega n square is equal to 0. So if you compare both the equations, now 2 zeta omega n is equal to 7 and omega n square is equal to 20. So if I take the square root of 20, omega n will be equal to 4.472 radian per second. Unit of the natural frequency is given by radian per second. And we can substitute now for omega n is equal to 4.472 in the above equation, and we can obtain for zeta. So after substitution and simplification, zeta is equal to 0.7826. Once after finding the value of zeta and omega n, as I told you before, now we can calculate all the time domain specification directly substituting in the formula. So you have been asked to find the maximum peak overshoot in percentage. So MP is equal to e to the power minus pi zeta divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square. You have to remember and memorize all the time domain specification formulas for the examination point of view, else it will be very difficult to solve problems related to the time domain specifications. Once after substituting for zeta, now we have obtained the expression for MP in percentage as 1.92 percentage. So now we have written the answer as omega n 4.472 radian per second, zeta 0.7826, as it is a damping ratio, no unit for it, and the maximum peak overshoot MP is equal to 1.92 percentage. So let's look into the next problem. Refer the figure 1.1 and find the following. Number 1, transfer function. Number 2, damping ratio. Number 3, natural frequency. Number 4, MP, which is nothing but maximum peak overshoot. Number 5, TP, that is a peak time. Number 6, the settling time TS. And you have been given with the constants. K is equal to 33 Newton per meter and B is equal to 15 Newton meter per second, and mass is equal to 3 kg. These are the spring coefficients and the coefficients of the dashpot as well as mass M for a given mechanical system. So let us solve this problem. The first step in solving this problem is transforming this mechanical network in a form of a node diagram, then writing the differential equation for it. So we have here only one displacement x of t. So number of displacement is equal to number of nodes. So let us represent x of t in a form of a node and connect all the elements which is related to that node. We could able to see that K spring is connected to the node x of t, and the dashboard B is connected to the node x of t, and the mass is or M is also connected to the node x of t. So let us connect the spring, dashboard, and the mass connected towards the node and the applied force finally. And you can connect it to the ground, and I have represented it in the form of a node diagram. Once after representing it in a form of a node diagram, we have to write the differential equation for it, which is given by f of t, that is the applied force, is equal to m into d square x by dt square plus b into dx by dt plus k into x. So here d square x by dt square is nothing but the acceleration, dx by dt is nothing but the velocity, and x is nothing but the displacement. And once after taking the Laplace transform, f of t becomes f of s, and m d square x by dt square will be m s square x of s plus b dx by dt will be b into s into x of s plus kx will be k into x of s. So now we have obtained the Laplace transform of the above differential equation, and now the next step is to calculate the transfer function. So we have obtained the ratio x of s by f of s is equal to 1 by ms square plus bs plus k after simplification. So I have told you already that the denominator term should be in terms of the standard characteristic equation a square plus bs plus c, in which a should be equal to 1. Suppose if you have some coefficient for a square, we have to take the coefficient as common outside and then further simplify. So I have taken m is common outside and I have further simplified it as 1 by m the whole divided by a square plus b by m plus k by m. I have been given with k is equal to 33 Newton per meter, b is equal to 50 Newton meter per second, and m is equal to 3 kg in the given data. So let us substitute for m as 3, b as 15. We have here the second term of the denominator as b by m. So 15 by m is given as 3. So 15 by 3 is 5s plus k by m we have, in which k is given as 33 and m is given as 3. So 33 divided by 3, 11. So we have here 11s. So we have substituted for m, b and k in the above expression, and we have obtained the transfer function x of s by f of s. Now we have to relate the denominator term with respect to the standard characteristic equation, which is given by a square plus 2 zeta omega ns plus omega n square, which is equal to 0. So here once after comparing, 2 zeta omega n is equal to 5 and omega n square will be equal to 11. So omega n square is equal to 11. So omega n will be square root of 11, which is nothing but 3.3166 radian per second. And by this comparison, we have obtained 2 zeta omega n is equal to 5. And once after substituting for omega n is equal to 3.316, we can obtain zeta as 0.7537. Make a note of it. Omega n unit is radian per second and zeta does not have any unit as it is a ratio. Then we are supposed to calculate for maximum peak overshoot. Now you have obtained the value of zeta and omega n. So finding the time domain specification is very straightforward. We can substitute directly in the formula, in which MP is given by e to the power minus pi zeta divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square into 100. Once after substituting, MP is equal to 2.72%. And we are supposed to calculate for TP, which is given by pi by omega d, and we know that omega d is equal to omega n into square root of 1 minus zeta square, which is again in terms of omega n and zeta. So it is very straightforward. We can substitute for omega n and zeta in this, and we can obtain for omega d, which is given by 2.1797 radian per second. Then we have obtained for Tp as 1.5 4412 second once after substituting for omega d in the formula Tp, which is equal to pi by omega d. Then for settling time Ts, which is given by 4t, which is 4 divided by zeta omega n. We know the value of zeta and omega n. Once after substituting it, we can obtain the settling time as 1.6 seconds. So we have done with this problem. Let us move on to the next example problem. You can take down this question. An RLC series circuit is an example of a second order system where R is 1 ohm, L is equal to 1 Henry and C is equal to 1 Farad. Find the response of the step voltage of 10 volt connected as an input and output connected across R. So you have been given with an electrical network here with an input of 10 volt. So the first step here is transforming this electrical network into an S-domain network. We know the transformation already, in which the Laplace transform of L is given by Ls. C can be written as 1 by Cs and R as R, and Vi of t replaced by Vi of S and V naught of t replaced by V naught of S. Once after obtaining this S-domain network, we have to apply KVL and write the loop equation. At loop 1, V1 of S is equal to Ls plus 1 by Cs plus R of I1 of S. Can apply loop equation and we have obtained V1 of S. So now substituting for R, L and C in the above equation, we can obtain V1 of S is equal to S plus 1 by S plus 1 of I1 of S. So for the simplification, V1 of S will be equal to S square plus S plus 1 divided by S into I1 of S. Then let us calculate V naught of S across the resistor R. So V naught of S is given by R into I1 of S. So from this expression, I can obtain I1 of S as cross multiplying S towards the left hand side. I1 of S will be equal to S divided by S square plus S plus 1 multiplied by V1 of S. Now I can substitute for I1 of S in this expression V naught of S. Once after substitution, V naught of S will be equal to R into S divided by S square plus S plus 1 into V1 of S. So now the transfer function is given by V naught of S divided by Vi of S is equal to S divided by S square plus S plus 1. So now we have obtained the transfer function for the given electrical network. The question is to find the response of the step voltage of 10 volt. So the input is not a unit step. It is given with a magnitude A of 10 volt. So the characteristic equation equating the denominator equal to 0, S square plus S plus 1 is equal to 0. So comparing the above equation with the standard second order equation, S square plus 2 zeta omega n S plus omega n square is equal to 0, we can obtain omega n square is equal to 1 and 2 zeta omega n is equal to 1. So substituting for omega n is equal to 1 in this equation, we can obtain zeta as 0.5. We know that the response of a second order system C of t is given by 1 minus e to the power of minus zeta omega n t divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square into sine of omega dt plus theta. As the given input has a magnitude 10, C of t can be written as A times of the response for unit step. So here A is equal to 10. So C of t will be equal to 10 multiplied by 1 minus e to the power of minus zeta omega n t divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square into sine of omega dt plus theta. We know that omega t is equal to omega n into square root of 1 minus zeta square. So we have obtained the value of omega n and zeta. So let us substitute in the expression omega d and we can obtain omega d as 0.866. We know that theta is equal to tan inverse of square root of 1 minus zeta square divided by zeta. Substituting for zeta as 0.5 in the above expression, we can obtain theta as 1.0471. To make a note that we have to put up in radian while we are substituting in the calculator. So after substituting for omega d is equal to 0.866 and theta is equal to 1.0471, C of t will be equal to 10 minus 11.54 into e to the power minus 0.5t into sine of 0.866t plus 1.0471. Theta isn't radian. I remind you once again. Now let us try solving the next problem. Determine the time domain specification for a given differential equation d square x by dt square plus 4dy by dt plus 8y equal to 8x, where x is the input and y is the output of the system. Find C of t. So you are given with a differential equation and we are supposed to calculate the response of the system. So for the given differential equation, first let us take the Laplace transform of the differential equation. So the Laplace transform of d square y by dt square is a square into y of s, and dy by dt is s into y of s, and y is y of s, and Laplace transform of x is x of s. So once after finding the Laplace transform of the differential equation, now we have to calculate the transfer function. We know that the transfer function is given by the Laplace transform of the output divided by Laplace transform of the input. Here x is the input and y is the output. Hence the transfer function is given by y of s by x of s is equal to 8 divided by a square plus 4s plus 8. So now we have to equate the denominator polynomial equal to 0 with the standard characteristic equation given by a square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus omega n square is equal to 0. So once after comparing with the coefficients, we have 2 zeta omega n is equal to 4 and omega n square is equal to 8. So omega n will be equal to square root of 8 and we get omega n as 2.828 radian per second, and if you substitute for omega in this expression, we get zeta as 0.707. So now we have obtained for omega n and zeta. Now in the given question, you are supposed to find for the response C of t. So the response C of t is given by 1 minus e to the power of minus zeta omega n t divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square into sine of omega dt plus theta. So we have to find the value of omega d as well as theta. So omega d is equal to omega n into square root of 1 minus zeta square. Substituting for omega n and zeta in the above expression, we can obtain omega d is equal to 1.999 radian per second, where omega d is the damping frequency. And we know that theta is equal to tan inverse of square root of 1 minus zeta square divided by zeta. Substituting the value of zeta, we can obtain theta is equal to 0.7855 radian. So now substituting for omega d, theta, zeta and omega n in the response, C of t will be equal to 1 minus 1.414 into e to the power of minus 2t into sine of 2t plus 0.7855. Omega d 1.999 has been rounded up to 2 in this case. Moving on to the next problem, the step response of certain control system is shown in the figure. Assume a single loop unity feedback and find the open loop transfer function and closed loop transfer function. It's a quite different question in which you are given with a step response in the form of a graph and we have to find the open loop transfer function and the closed loop transfer function. That is, the time domain specification has been given in the form of a graph and we have to identify the time domain specification, and finally we have to find the value of zeta and omega n from that expression, and then we have to calculate the open loop transfer function. So from the graph it is very clear that 2 seconds is nothing but TP. This is the peak point at which the response is reaching the very highest value compared to rest of all the values. So TP is equal to 2 seconds. The maximum peak overshoot is very clear from this graph, which is given by MP is equal to 2.5 minus 2, that is nothing but 0.5. And we have obtained TP as 2 seconds from the graph. And we know that the response graph C of t is specific for unit step input. And here in this case, we have a magnitude of 2. Hence, A is equal to 2. So, we know the response C of t is equal to 1 minus e to the power minus zeta omega nt divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square sine of omega dt plus theta, which is subjected to unit step input. As we have a magnitude of A is equal to 2, now the response is A times of C of t for a unit step input. So the maximum peak overshoot MP will be given by A into e to the power of minus zeta pi divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square. Even the maximum peak overshoot is multiplied by the magnitude A. So now from the given data, we have obtained MP is equal to 0.5 and A is 2. Hence, substituting in the above expression, it will be 0.5 is equal to 2 times of e to the power minus zeta pi divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square. So further simplifying, we get 0.25 is equal to e to the power of minus zeta pi divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square. To proceed further, let us take natural logarithm on both sides. So log of 0.25 natural logarithm generally will be represented as ln. So ln of 0.25 is equal to ln of e to the power minus zeta pi divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square. We know that log of e to the power of x will be equal to x. In this case, x is equal to minus zeta pi divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square. And we have taken the natural logarithm for 0.25 and we have obtained as minus 1.386 is equal to minus zeta pi divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square. For this simplification, we can obtain zeta is equal to 0.404. Now from the given data, the peak time Tp is equal to 2, in which Tp is given by pi by omega d. So we know that omega d is equal to omega n into square root of 1 minus zeta square, and I'm equating from the given data TPS 2. So now we know zeta as 0.404. So further simplification after substituting the value of zeta here in this expression, we can obtain omega n as 1.717 radian per second. So now we have obtained for zeta and omega n, and in the question you are supposed to calculate for open loop transfer function as well as the closed loop transfer function. We know the formula for closed loop transfer function for a given second order system, which is given by C of s by R of s is equal to omega n square divided by s square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus omega n square. So we can substitute for zeta and omega n from the above expression, and further simplification we can obtain the closed loop transfer function as 2.9 divided by s square plus 1.387 s plus 2.9. And from the block diagram, we know that the open loop transfer function is given by g of s is equal to omega n square by s into s plus 2 zeta omega n. After substituting the value for zeta and omega n in g of s, we can obtain the open loop transfer function as 2.948 divided by s square plus 1.3875 s. So we have obtained the closed loop transfer function and the open loop transfer function for this problem. So moving on to the next problem, a system has a 30% peak overshoot and a settling time of 5 seconds for a unit step input. Determine the closed loop transfer function and the peak time Tp. This is a similar type of the problem which we have solved just now, in which in the previous problem you have been given with the response in a form of a graph, and from which we have extracted the time domain specification. Whereas in this case, the time domain specification is given to you directly. And from the time domain specification, we have to find the value of zeta and omega n, and further we have to substitute it in the closed loop transfer function formula as well as the peak time formula. So now, given MP is equal to 0.3 and TP is equal to 5 seconds, and we know that MP is equal to e to the power of minus zeta pi divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square. I have substituted for MP is equal to 0.3, which is given in the question. So 0.3 is equal to e to the power of minus zeta pi divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square. As usual procedure, we have to take natural logarithm on both the sides. Hence we have obtained minus 1.20 is equal to minus zeta pi divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square. For this simplification, we can obtain zeta as 0.35. Once after obtaining for zeta, now from the given data, we know that the settling time Ts is equal to 40, which is given as 5 in the question. So substituting for Ts is equal to 5, 5 will be equal to 4 into 1 by zeta omega n. So from this we know zeta is equal to 0.35. So once after substituting the value of zeta, we can obtain the natural frequency omega n is equal to 2.285 radian per second. So now we have obtained the value of zeta and omega n. So now the question is to calculate the closed loop transfer function. So we know the formula for the closed loop transfer function. C of s by Rf is equal to omega n square divided by s square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus omega n square. Once after substituting for zeta and omega n, we have obtained the closed loop transfer function as 5.221 divided by s square plus 1.6s plus 5. Then the question is to find the peak time Tp. So we know the formula for Tp, which is given by pi divided by omega d, where omega d is equal to omega n into square root of 1 minus zeta square. Once after substituting the value of omega n and zeta, we can obtain the value of Tp as 1.467 seconds. The problem now which we have solved and the previous problem is one and the same, in which in this problem maximum peak overshoot is given directly, and in the previous problem we have extracted the maximum peak overshoot and the peak time from the response graph. Let us try with the next problem. A feedback system is described with the following transfer function given by g of s is equal to 12 divided by s square plus 4s plus 16. And h of s is equal to k into s. The damping factor of the system is 0.8. Determine the overshoot of the system and the value of k. So you are given with g of s and h of s in the question, and the damping factor zeta is given in the question. So now from the given data, we have to calculate for overshoot is nothing but mp, and we have to calculate for the unknown quantity k. So let us start solving this problem. We know that the closed loop transfer function C of s by R of s is given by g of s divided by 1 plus g of s into h of s. So we know the actual procedure which I have given in the introduction part. The first step will be to calculate the transfer function, from which we always used to identify zeta and omega n, then go for the time domain specification. Whereas you are given with the damping factor of the system to be a 0.8 in the question, from which we can find the value of omega n and the unknown quantity k. So now substituting for g of s in this expression and for the simplification, we can obtain the closed loop transfer function as c of s by r of s is equal to 16 divided by s square plus 4 plus 12k into s plus 16. So now we can equate the denominator term of the characteristic equation equal to 0, and we can compare it with the standard characteristic equation of a second order system, which is given by s square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus omega n square is equal to 0. So now comparing both the equations, the coefficient of s for the above two equations, 2 zeta omega n will be equal to 4 plus 12k and omega n square is equal to 16. So omega n square is equal to 16. Omega n is square root of 16, which is 4 radian per second. And 2 zeta omega n is equal to 4 plus 12k. Substituting for omega n as 4 and zeta, which is given as 0.8 in the question, we can obtain the value of k. So now the next question is to find MP, that is a maximum peak overshoot, which is given by e to the power of minus pi zeta divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square into 100. So substituting for zeta as 0.8, which is given in the question itself. So once after substituting and simplifying, we can obtain MP is equal to 1.5%. So we have done with this problem. Let us try for a different problem now. The open loop transfer function of a unity feedback control system is given by G of s is equal to K divided by S into 1 plus St. By what factor the amplifier gain K should be multiplied that the damping ratio is increased from 0.3 to 0.9. So you are given with a unity feedback control system G of s, and we have to find the factor K, and the given data is the damping ratio with respect to the increase from 0.3 to 0.9. So it is very clear that you are given with a increase in the ratio of the damping ratio, that is zeta 1 and zeta 2. We can take zeta 1 to be as 0.3 and zeta 2 to be as 0.9. So let us try to solve this problem. So first let us calculate the closed loop transfer function. C of s by R of s is equal to G of s divided by 1 plus G of s into H of s. After substituting for G of s and further simplification, we can obtain C of s by R of s is equal to K by T divided by S square plus S by T plus K by T. Always remember the denominator term of the transfer function should be of the form A square plus BS plus C, in which A should be equal to 1. So that is the reason why we have taken common few terms outside and we have represented in the same fashion as that of the standard characteristic equation of a second order system. So let us compare it with the standard second order system, which is given by a square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus omega n square is equal to 0. So 2 zeta omega n is 1 by t and omega n square is k by t. So we get 2 zeta omega n is equal to 1 by t. I have taken it from the previous slide, and omega n square is equal to k by t. So omega n will be equal to square root of k by t. So let me substitute for omega n in this expression. So I can obtain 2 zeta multiplied by square root of k by t. So from this I can obtain zeta as zeta is equal to 1 by 2t into square root of t by k. So I can represent t as square root of t multiplied by square root of t. So square root of t and square root of t will get cancelled out, and we can obtain zeta as 1 by 2 square root of kt. Given that zeta 1 is equal to 0.3, and we know that here from this expression I can represent in terms of zeta 1 as zeta 1 is equal to 1 by 2 into square root of k1t. It is also given that zeta 2 is equal to 0.9, that is the damping ratio is increasing from 0.3 to 0.9. Hence, from the above expression, zeta 2 will be equal to 1 by 2 into square root of k2t. So now let us take the ratio of zeta 1 divided by zeta 2. So once after simplification, we can obtain square root of k2 by k1. So squaring on both the sides, k2 by k1 will be equal to zeta 1 divided by zeta 2 the whole square. Substituting for zeta 1 as 0.3 and zeta 2 as 0.9, and further simplification, we can obtain K2 by K1 is equal to 1 by 9. So K1 is equal to 9 times of K2. Hence the gain K1 at which zeta is equal to 0.3 should be multiplied by 1 by 9 to increase the damping ratio from 0.3 to 0.9. This is a quite different problem in which two values of zeta is given and we have substituted, proceed, and we have found the values of K, and we have identified that the factor by which the damping ratio is getting increased from 0.3 to 0.9. Moving on to the next problem, the open loop transfer function of a unity feedback system is given by g of s is equal to k by s into 1 plus ts. By what factor should k be multiplied so that the system overshoot for unit step excitation? For unit step excitation is reduced from 60% to 20%. In the previous problem, you have been given with the increase in damping ratio from 0.3 to 0.6, whereas in this case, the maximum peak overshoot is reducing from 60% to 20%. So let us try to solve this problem. And let us make use of this equality which we have derived just now. Zeta 1 divided by zeta 2 is equal to square root of K2 divided by K1. So given as MP, so let me write the formula for MP is equal to e to the power of minus zeta pi divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square. And MP1 is equal to 0.60, which is given in the question. So substitute for MP1 in the formula and taking logarithm on both the sides, and for the simplification we can obtain for zeta 1 as 0.160. Similarly, substitute for MP2 as 0.20 and substitute in the main equation of MP, take logarithm on both sides, and for the simplification we have obtained zeta 2 is equal to 0.456. So now, making use of this equality, let us substitute for zeta 1 and zeta 2 which we have obtained just now, and we can find the value of k after simplifying. K is given by 0.123. So we have obtained the factor by which it should be multiplied so that the system overshoot of an unit step excitation reduces from 60% to 20%. So you can have a look at this problem. Consider a system as shown in the figure with a damping ratio 0.6 and natural frequency 5 radian per second. Obtain the rise time, peak time, maximum overshoot, and the settling time for 2% and 5% criteria, and which is subjected to a unit step input. So this question is very straightforward, in which you have been given with damping ratio zeta in the question as 0.6 and natural frequency omega n is equal to 5 radian per second. This is a very direct question in which we have to directly substitute the values of zeta and omega n directly into the time domain specifications formulas, and you can obtain the answer. So omega n is given, zeta is given. So we can easily find out the rise time as pi minus theta divided by omega d. And pi we have taken it as 3.141 minus theta divided by omega n into square root of 1 minus zeta square. So we can make use of this equality which we have done already for the unit step response of a second order system, in which theta is equal to tan inverse of omega n into square root of 1 minus zeta square divided by zeta. Here omega n and omega n will get cancelled out. We have generalized it as theta is equal to tan inverse of square root of 1 minus zeta square divided by zeta. We know the value of theta which is given in the question. Once after substituting the value of theta, we can obtain theta as 0.93 radian. And if you substitute for theta in the rise time formula, we can obtain the rise time as 0.55 seconds. So once after finding with the rise time, let us find the peak time Tp, which is given by pi by omega d. So pi is again 3.141 divided by omega d. We have calculated it as 4. So Tp will be equal to 0.785 seconds. And for settling time Ts for 2% error, Ts is given by 4 by zeta omega n. We know the value of zeta and omega n. We can substitute it directly and we can obtain Ts as 1.33 seconds. And for settling time for 5% error, Ts is equal to 3 divided by zeta omega n. Once after substituting for zeta and omega n, we can obtain Ts as 1 seconds. And finally, we can obtain the maximum peak overshoot. MP is equal to e to the power of minus pi zeta divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square into 100. Once after substituting the value of zeta, we can obtain the maximum peak overshoot as 0.095. So we have done with the many types of problems related to time domain specification. So in the next lecture, let us try with few more problems related to time response specification, and let us get introduced to PI, PD and PID controllers. Thank you.